flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Every single week, the Vikings have to find some miracle way to win because they gave up the lead at the end. Can you get a normal game? Oh my God, can we just get a solid 16-10 win? I got this tweet after the game, and I was laughing so hard. Petrak, we have lost a game in regulation, overtime, and missing a kick that, if made, would have won as time expired. Yeah. We have won a game in regulation, overtime, and making a kick that, if missed, would have lost as time expired.
Yes.
And it's only week 6.
Still getting started.
They have the bye. I'm exhausted. I don't know how Vikings fans do this. I'm not a Vikings fan. I feel for you. I'm exhausted.
My daughter works for the team, and I'm going to send, I know she's been drinking an awful lot this season. I'm going to send the Vikings a bill.
Was that Chris Carter?
Yeah.
Oh, they got Chris Carter back. Is he trying out for Good Morning Football?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because he was pretty good. Like during his run on ESPN, he would do Mike and Mike and stuff, and he was kind of a morning radio guy. I did not know they were trying him out.
He's bounced around a lot because he went to what the show on Fox Sports 1,
and then he said, didn't he say? I think him and something happened behind the scenes there.
Yeah, we still don't know what, but yeah. So I didn't know his kid worked for the team now though.
Interesting.
Oh. Me neither.
Oh, interesting.
And she's drinking too much. It's not good.
Join the club.
It's not good. I mean,
I think Peter Schrager speaks for everyone. Like these first 6 weeks have just been like everyone needs a bye right now. I think this is a good time for the team to have a bye, for the fans to just take a deep breath, for us maybe. This is Mackie and Judd, daily Minnesota sports entertainment. You can also find our other daily show, Purple Daily, if you're not familiar. We've got the SKOR North YouTube channel, the Purple Daily YouTube channel, and SKORNorth.com and the SKOR North app are the absolute central hubs for everything we do. And on Tuesdays on this show, we go through an exercise called Who Gets It and Who Doesn't. And I will tee us off here. I'll hit the breakfast ball for all of us here. Last night, I'm watching a game, Monday Night Football. Haymakers back. That was a fun game, first and foremost.
Great game.
Just drama. But you know who gets it, even though they lost? Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. For 2 reasons. All right? I think there's 2 things that Mike Zimmer and the Vikings can learn from Sean McDermott and the way that he has gone about his philosophy and empowerment of the Buffalo Bills. And this failed and blew up in his face last night, but I think it was the right decision analytically and strategically, and the right decision for the locker room. 4th and 1, the Bills are down by 3, 25 seconds left, and I think they're at like the 5-yard line, 4-yard line of the Titans, and so they could kick a chip shot field goal, tie the game, and go to overtime. Or they can line up their high-powered offense and their 235-pound quarterback, Josh Allen, and they can go get a yard. And they failed, and they lost the game. But I love them. First of all, it's the right move when you have a great offense in a high-scoring game. Kicking the field goal doesn't guarantee you a win. It just guarantees the game continues. If you have a chance to win the game, I like trying to win the game. But I love the fact that Sean McDermott told his offense and told his locker room, we are pedal to the metal. We are going to throttle our opponents, and we expect to gain this yard and win this game. No cowardly decisions from this guy as the head coach. Late in games, key situations, 4th downs. Too many coaches are obsessed with avoiding failure as opposed to actually trying to win the game. And I can count at least 3 times in that game against Carolina where Mike Zimmer made a key decision and the main thought on his mind was avoiding failure. Kicking field goals inside the 5-yard line, for instance, in the first half. 2 of them. And then running the ball on 3rd and 8. Field goal range, right? Not kicking a field goal when in field goal range. Chance to ice the game. And the other thing is, you got Sean McDermott is a defensive background coach. He was the 6-year defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers before he got this job. I believe he spent 10 years as a defensive assistant for the Philadelphia Eagles from
friends with Brad Childress. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he goes back like 20 years as a defensive-minded coach. And you'd think, defensive-minded coach, conservative, hand the ball off, right? He's telling the Buffalo Bills offensive coaches and Josh Allen, guys, big plays down the field. We want big plays. We're going to take advantage of Stephon Diggs. We're going to target the bleep out of him. And if you guys make big plays, it helps my defense because now we got a 14, 20-point lead, whatever. They didn't last night, but we got a big lead and we can tee off. So Sean McDermott, even in a losing effort, gets it, and there's a lot of things Mike Zimmer can go to school on.
And I think that if we had this conversation about this very game 10 years back, the day after the game, I think everyone would be like, what was he doing? You got to take the points. It's on the road. It's the right call to take the points. I love now that's completely changed, and it should change. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, the one of the places, because, we come back to the fact that Zimmer is not a bad coach. Like, you can't flat sit here and be like, he is a terrible coach. He's not. But one of the places where since 2014, he has not evolved that a lot of this league has is where? Thought process, right? Like the thought process, what McDermott did last night, only old guys like me would be like, that was a mistake. Like if you look at the entirety of this league now, I think the majority of people would say, absolutely, the right call. And the QB slipped. Like things happen. But if he doesn't slip, he probably gets it. They score, they win, they go home. So, yeah, and it's so much more fun, too, right? Like, that's the thing, too, is that game was so much fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Through that play, it was just so much damn fun to watch.
Yeah, and I don't think Sean McDermott's checklist of things in his mind is like, oh, all right, analytically sound move, prove something to the locker room, and let the fans watch something fun. But it was right, more fun.
But I enjoyed it.
To watch. Yeah.
Sam Munson, too, had the note that Josh Allen was 29 of 31 in his career on third and fourth down quarterback sneaks. So that was just the third time he did not convert a third. So you had like a 95% chance that he was going to convert that play, which Josh Allen has done in his career. You take that chance.
That's pretty bonkers.
5% chance, man.
And I think he flat out slipped.
He slipped. The defensive tackle, or was it the edge? I can't remember which player, but like someone got in there and made life hell on him, and he slipped. It was a great defensive play too. No, the Titans made a play. Sean McDermott, dude gets it.
All right, who gets it? I am going to go away from our norm, and I'm going to give you one that is a little bit outside the box, but I'm going to tell you right now, who gets it? Cam Dantzler, because he's about to. Cam Dantzler, you tweeted 3 weeks back? This is BS. I'd like to play more. And then you basically tried to say that wasn't about the game in which I watched almost the entire thing. Starting coming out of the bye against the Dallas Cowboys, Cam Dantzler, you are going to start. And the one of the best signings, and we haven't discussed this a ton, but we probably should. Patrick Peterson has played great. Like he's played really well. Well, he has now been placed on IR with what turned out not to be a cramp during the end of the fourth quarter in Sunday's game, but what turned out to be a hamstring injury. So to be clear, he must miss now at least 3 games. And my guess is if you place him on IR, you probably think he's going to miss more than 3. So I'm guessing like 6 to 8 weeks. Cam Dantzler, you demanded playing time. You're going to get it, and you're potentially going to get it against a gauntlet of quarterbacks that will include Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers. So, you better get it good, because if you don't, these are going to be some long games, because the pass rush is much improved. 21 sacks is really good. But that back end, Breeland and Dantzler going to have to hold up against some pretty damn good quarterbacks.
I'm actually much more confident in Dantzler than I am in Breeland over the stretch. I feel like he's put together some really good stretches last year and had a couple good games this year. So this is more like we're going to find out if he gets it, I guess, with Cam Dantzler.
And he's about to get it. A lot of balls thrown his way.
All right, Declan, who gets it? Who doesn't?
Well, Cam Dantzler's other teammate, Bashaud Breeland, and the Vikings get it for sticking with Bashaud Breeland. So through the first 3 weeks of the season, Bashaud Breeland was the worst cornerback, literally the worst graded cornerback in the NFL through 3 weeks. There was 116 of them. He graded 116th. Teams were feasting on him. 18 targets, 257 yards, 4 touchdowns allowed. I mean, he was just getting gashed all over the place in the first 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks for Bashaud Breeland, weeks 4 through 6, he ranks 4th out of 119 qualified cornerbacks. 15 targets, just 43 yards allowed, no touchdowns, just 5 catches. Bashaud Breeland after a disastrous start. And, I know he had the funny tweet after a few games ago. But in general, this guy played in the Super Bowl last year. He's a veteran cornerback. And Bashaud Breeland's now going to be relied upon. Similar to Dantzler, we'll see if they actually do get it, because Patrick Peterson's absence is a big one for the Vikings. But over the last 3 games, Bashaud Breeland has turned things around, and I think it's a good sign of what's to come for him the rest of the season.
So you're convinced? You're in?
I'm convinced. I'm in.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there with him yet. It was a great play to start the game. I mean, he definitely set the tone. Him picking that pass off right off the bat, I think scared Sam Darnold into just the fetal position for 3 hours. So that was a great play. It set the tone. And Sam Darnold, who's, I think, very easily shook. He's one of the more easily shook quarterbacks in the league. When you do that in the first 30 seconds of a game, and all of a sudden now he's like, oh, my God. Let's see ghosts out there. So we'll see.
Do you guys trade try to trade a late round draft pick for a corner during the off week?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I need something more specific. Which cornerback is available that's going to be like a starting caliber cornerback?
Or just a depth guy. Like next up is like Chris Boyd, Harrison Hand.
Trey Flowers were released by the Seahawks just last week. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Trey Flowers.
Okay, here's a guy, I'm not joking, who's off to a bad start, and I've seen on some sites might be available right now. Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, what's he doing? Is he still with Indy?
Yes, and he's not playing great because they changed their scheme.
Oh, God.
And he's being exposed. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I am saying he knows your system. He would give you some depth there. And if Breeland or Dantzler completely busts, you could give him a look-see. 6th round pick? 7th round pick?
You've already given up a 4th rounder for...
Well, Chris, I know.
Herndon,
I know. I'm just asking a question. I'm throwing it out there.
I hear you.
I'm throwing it out there. Don't shoot the messenger.
Xavier Rhodes, we saw how bad that was 2 years ago. I don't know, man. I hear you. Like, could
I'm
they
not
use
saying
some
that
depth?
there's like a Pro Bowl guy that you're going to go get. I'm saying, do you try to get depth and potentially a replacement just in case Dantzler stinks or Breeland goes back to being at the bottom of the PFF list?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could definitely use some risk management at that position right now.
Bravo.
And that's where Federated can come in here, all right? If you're a business owner out there, Federated has been around for over 100 years, based in Owatonna, Minnesota, and Federated has your back. They'll give you a better night's sleep because you'll just not be thinking about all the things that could go wrong with your business because Federated has your back. You can find a full list of industries they protect and resources they provide at federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. Who gets it? Listen, if we say that someone doesn't get it 1 week and then they do some self-scouting, self-reflection, and they come back and perform better, then they deserve to be praised. And so, therefore, Klint Kubiak gets it after a week of self-scouting. Coming into Sunday, the Vikings had only attempted 15 deep passes, so 20 yards or more in the air, which was bottom half of the league. It was like 20th in the league. And I'm guessing that was a point of emphasis during self-scouting week at the Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center. So, guys, we need to probably open this thing up a little bit more, all right? Let's maybe take more than 2 or 3 shots down the field. Maybe a handful. I don't know. And so this week, the Vikings, after self-scouting week, went 4 of 8. 8 deep pass attempts. 15 all year in the first 5 weeks. 8 deep pass attempts against the Panthers. 4 of 8 for 108 yards and a touchdown. And I believe the game winner was a deep pass attempt. I think that traveled 20-plus yards in the air to KJ Osborne. Also, Justin Jefferson, after a 14-target day, it wasn't his best day because he dropped a pass, fumbled, but he was targeted 14 times, and he's now the 5th most targeted receiver in the NFL, which is exactly where he belongs. So everything's kind of been sorted out here. After the first few weeks, they were too conservative, but now they have found a new aggressive gear. And so Klint Kubiak, seems like you get it after a week of self-scouting.
It's very nice of
That's
you.
a deep sigh right there.
That's very nice of you. That's very nice of you to say that the Vikings, who wouldn't throw the ball against Detroit, now threw the ball and they get it when the Detroit game plan. My God, I mean, did you really have to self?
Why are you still hung up on Detroit? They just won a road game with almost 600 yards of total offense against Carolina.
I want to see this consistency. I want to see more. I want to keep seeing it. I'm pushing them to be better. I'm pushing them to thrive. That's what I do.
I want to see that too, but like
I motivate.
You're ripping them for something they haven't had a chance to give you yet. They just gave you a really, really good. When in the end, like they were too conservative at times in the first half, especially with like kicking field goals.
Yep.
But in the end, they put up almost 600 yards and 7 yards per play and threw the ball deep against a pretty darn good defense on the road.
As you say now, put your foot on the gas and push it down and keep going. Pedal to the metal. All right. Yeah, off of that one, I'm going to take that and give you a who gets it really. Adam Thielen. Tough as nails. This man rarely misses practice time. This man will go to the wall for your football team. And yet last Wednesday and Thursday showed up on the injury report. DNP, did not participate either day. And then magically came back on Friday, I believe. And then magically on Sunday looked like he was healthier than I've been in years and years and years.
Well,
who gets it? Who gets it? The squeaky wheel who says, you threw me 2 passes. I officially caught 2 passes at the end of the game. By the way, to save your bacon. Because without those 2 catches, you don't get the 54-yard field goal from Greg Joseph. So, Adam Thielen, you get it because you know how to get this team on the right track by saying, hey, you know, I saw a guy a few years back. I forget, he wore number 14, and he was really, really good, and he got ignored and eventually forced his way out. But before he did that, he went on a wildcat strike the week after he was ignored like I was. Adam Thielen, bravo, congratulations. I don't know if you call it passive-aggressive or what, but you get it. You get it by motivating the team to throw you, I believe he caught, to what Phil just said, 11 passes. That is getting it.
So, all right, I want to explore this theory here.
Yes.
So he was targeted 3 times against the Lions.
Yes.
And are you okay over there? It looks like
know
the light of God is like.
Yeah, I think you can just close that blind or angle the laptop. One of the two.
I'm trying to angle it. I'm trying to
angle
it. No.
Your sins.
I'm trying to angle it, and it keeps coming in here, and I don't know how to fix the damn
This
thing.
is pretty great.
But wait.
Old man tries to figure out
blind
lighting.
is the blind. To be clear, the blind is closed. So the blind is closed. Okay. But it's coming. But because of the time of day, the sun is coming in.
What do you have? Fishnet for blinds? What?
No,
you know who doesn't get it? Zolgad's blinds in his office.
I got a good blind here, but I'm going to have to upgrade. Like, what should I do? This thing's
it looks like you found it there. It looks like
I think you found it.
We're good there. Yep.
Don't move for the next 40 minutes. Right there. Be stopped.
You know who gets it?
Yeah.
I'm like blocking it with my hand, I think.
Are you? Move your hand.
I'm
okay.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. So I just want to I want to be clear on your theory here. So Adam Thielen gets targeted 3 times in just an absolute horrible performance by the Vikings against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a Veterans Day off on Wednesday. Right?
No, he's on the injury report.
With what? And what was the designated injury?
It was like an ankle? I don't even know. But he missed 2 days of practice.
And then he misses Thursday.
Yes.
And then he's back as a full participant on Friday, or he was off the injury report altogether on Friday.
First of all, I never saw the official participation for Friday, but he and Jefferson, who both missed 2 days, were off the injury report entirely when it was issued going into the game on Friday.
So he goes from 3 targets against Detroit.
Yes.
You're saying that he may have sat out in Stefon Diggs-like protest, but didn't make a big public deal out of it like
Correct,
Diggs did.
because he's not going to do that.
And then he comes back and gets targeted 13 times. So this may have been Adam Thielen, veteran, great NFL receiver, saying, "Guys, what are we doing?"
Right. It worked for Diggs. And the second thing is, like, the self-scout thing is a really good way for us to be like, self-scout. Let's talk about the self-scout. Let's not talk about 2 of your best receivers who are not practicing. And then when the injury report is issued finally, they're off of it.
Interesting theory.
What I'm saying
I
is
don't know if I'm all the way there with you. I'm
No,
sure
it's
he was
fine.
frustrated.
I don't expect, not everybody can come down the path that Zolgad explores, okay? So I don't expect you to be all the way there. What I'm saying is self-scout is like a treat for people in our business. Who's a good boy? Who wants a treat? Self-scout. Oh yeah, self-scout. Let's talk about the self-scout. Let's not
Meanwhile,
talk about
Adam Thielen's not, he's boycotting 48 hours of practice. All right, okay, all right. There is a precedent. It has happened before.
Yes,
it has happened before.
It worked. Diggs had a great game against the Giants after that.
All right, who gets it? Who does? I think we're back to Declan here.
Yeah, I'll give you a who gets it. I'm going to go to the hockey side of things. And I'll tell you who gets it. The national media's outlook on our Minnesota Wild.
Wow.
This blurb.
Two games in.
Just 2 games in. Just 2 games in. This is why they get it. This is why they get it. CBS Sports, noted hockey enthusiasts, in their first power ranking of the season, have the Minnesota Wild as the number 1 team in the NHL. It's happening. Do you know why? Do you know what this is all about?
Over to Rask. Back to Kaprizov.
It's all
Fiala, he's
about-
gone!
It's all about winning.
Listen, you guys know what this is all about, right? Right? What's it all about? Spurgey?
Hard work and having fun.
That. This is about winning.
You're dang right it's about winning. Absolutely. It is happening. This from CBS Sports. The Wild were a sneaky team last year, and they're off to a strong start this season. Minnesota has beaten 2 teams, the Kings and Ducks, that failed to make the playoffs in 2021. But the Wild played well in both games, and it remains to be seen how long Minnesota will last at the top, but they earned it this week. The Wild are at home tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, who also should be a pretty formidable team. They are without Blake Wheeler, Minnesota native, who is in COVID protocols. That is a big loss for the Jets. But the Minnesota Wild, man, I mean, a lot of other outlets, too, and projections and analytics have them as a top 10 team going into this year. Yeah, as a little maybe an overreaction to put them at number 1 after beating 2 bad California teams through the first week of the season. I don't know. I'm a firm believer that you should take care of the bad teams, and the Wild were able to do that. So who gets it? The national media's outlook on your Minnesota Wild.
How about that? And because we're such a generous giving show here on Mackie and Judd and at SKOR North, we are giving away tickets to the Wild Predators game on October 24th later this week. And all you have to do if you want to win these tickets for free, you download the free SKOR North app, which is a central hub for all of the content we produce. You register and you can enter. We'll pick a winner in a couple of days here on October 21st. And if you're a college student, I know we can see you guys out there checking our Wild content out on YouTube. A lot of college students out there. College night discounts are back at the X this season, and the Wild, the tickets start at just $39 for college students. So there's a few games to choose from each month. You can find out more at wild.com/themepacks.
Look at that. See, it's all you got to do.
about it?
You just go on Listener Rewards, type in there. It's right there for you. It's in the
Boom.
app section.
Super easy. Super easy.
I do want to jump the gun and make an executive decision on who doesn't get it, though, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Because it kind of dovetails
Phil?
from the hockey side. If
Phil,
that's
are we-
okay, it's your show.
Phil,
I don't.
Phil, are we going to
I just
prove
wanna
this?
make sure
Wow,
that's okay.
the ampersand in Mackie and Judd
Judd
is
is
pulling
now-
an
now
executive
calling the
move
shots.
right now. Yeah.
Yep. I
All right.
lost an edge. I got those skates sharpened last night, and now I'm back. So I'll say who doesn't get it. And that is triggered hockey fans. Who doesn't get it are triggered hockey fans. And let me explain. I want to go back to last Friday night. The Minnesota Wild had their season opener, and it's on ESPN Plus, a streaming service, and on Hulu Live if you have Hulu Live. But it's not on Bally Sports North. It's not locally available. You have to have a streaming platform to get it. And for whatever reason, a lot of people, including my age, by the way, who are in their late 20s, who have a majority amount of streaming services, were up in arms and were Abe Simpson in the sky asking, old man yells at hockey and yells at TV screens because they can't find the game. Let me get this right. The NHL has been on NBC Sports Network and NBC Sports for the majority of their nationwide TV schedule for the last, 15 years or so. They now move to the Mecca. They move to ESPN. And you're now upset because you can't find the game when ESPN Plus is through Disney. It's very affordable. This is what you want, eyeballs on your sport. It's not on NBC Sports. It's on ESPN. And if that means 5 times a year you got to figure out a way to watch this game streaming-wise, just deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. You have all these streaming platforms. ESPN is supposed to take hockey and rise it up. And in my opinion, in the first week, they have done that. That's the best thing for this sport is to get eyeballs on it. Dude. So I think hockey fans sometimes just get a little too triggered over it. And ESPN Plus and ESPN's in general involvement with the NHL is the best thing for this league in a long, long time. That's my rant.
I love it.
That's my rant.
I'm here for it. So did I see right, too, when you look at the Wild schedule, like obviously all the games are on Bally's Sports North, or most of them. But it says like the first 10 games are also on ESPN Plus. Is that like a special that ESPN Plus is doing for the first month?
No,
or are they making all of those games available on ESPN Plus?
They took out, so the package that the league had through their site, which was every game, as part of the agreement, ESPN Plus inherits that.
So instead of having like NHL League Pass or whatever it is.
So like it's not all them. They're just going to serve as the conduit to carry games.
Yeah.
In some cases.
And is that
actually pretty smart?
Is that so? Like as
smart.
An ESPN Plus subscriber myself, is there an additional charge for the NHL package, or is it just part of your ESPN Plus?
Just part of your ESPN Plus, which is a genius thing. So you could theoretically, Phil, because you're also out of market, watch every game, every Wild game through ESPN Plus because you're out of it.
I can't watch Kraken games because they don't offer they don't offer Root Sports on YouTube TV, but I can watch.
Oh,
like I have all these, like, you know, for Vikings games I got the Game Pass or whatever, and then for NBA, whatever, the League Pass. But I love that ESPN Plus is looking to swallow these up. And there are thoughts that I think DirecTV's deal with the NFL runs out in like a year or something. And DirecTV is just out. They don't want to renew the NFL League Pass, and ESPN Plus might swoop that up too.
Yes, which is super smart.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really,
all right,
really smart.
Judd Zolgad, let's go back to you here. Who gets it? Who doesn't?
Can't watch Kraken games?
Well, I can literally walk down the street and go.
Didn't look good. Flyers, man.
I'll send you a little Google Chrome thing that you can use as an extension to get those Kraken games, Phil.
Okay, that'd be great, actually.
Flyers punked them last night. All right. Since we've been incredibly positive with lots of who gets it, I'm going to give you a who doesn't, because we're not talking enough about this, but the Zolgad rule of retire before you look like a fool is being violated in the National Football League badly by this player. Hall of Fame quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. Dude,
what do you mean? He just led them to a victory?
You don't get it. Why are you still watching you hurts me more. I think it hurts me more to watch you fumble through games than it did to watch Peyton, because at least Peyton won a Super Bowl while he couldn't complete a pass worth of crap. Ben Roethlisberger, I don't care what the Steelers do. I don't care if they win, lose, or draw. Watching Ben Roethlisberger broken down, I mean, dude, beyond repair.
He's actually been pretty good the last 2 weeks.
Unrecognizable.
You're 2 weeks too late on this take.
Limping around. No, it's so painful, man. He's not going to survive the season. Watching him play is just atrocious. The Steelers should have said, Big Ben, retire. We're retiring your number. We're going to do everything for you, but get out. We got to get a quarterback. Instead, he came back again. Mike Tomlin fiercely loyal to him, which in some ways I admire, but Ben Roethlisberger, dude, you don't get it. Why are you still playing? Stop playing.
I love the random. You're definitely 2 weeks too late on this take, though. Like, he hasn't been as bad the last 2 weeks.
But it's still terrible. Like 2 weeks ago, it was awful. It's still bad. I was watching the game on Sunday, and
so was I. He was fine. He's slow.
Did you see him passing the ball?
It's a lot of checkdowns. It's a lot of checkdowns. He shot puts it now.
He at one point in time went to attempt a pass and realized that he shouldn't throw the pass. And in the old days, would have brought the ball down with certainty and like taken off or something. This time he brings the ball down. Yeah, and he just drops it. Like a grandma, like a grandpa, like Judd.
And then he couldn't pick it up because he's too old.
Yes. And then he backed off. Like, oh, excuse me, that football's on the ground. I ain't going near it. Like, everything that made this guy special has been ruined. Get out of the game.
Yeah. Hey, one more quick one here on who gets who doesn't. shout out to Carlos Correa. So last night, who was the Red Sox pitcher that Red Sox pitcher
Rodriguez,
taunted
right?
Rodriguez? He does he did the my time point at the
Yes.
watch celebration.
Yes.
That Carlos Correa does for the Astros. Carlos Correa and he's embraced the villain role now too, of like, all right, you're gonna call us cheaters, and I'm just gonna chirp back at everyone. And so whenever he hits a home run, like as the ball is in flight, he'll turn to his dugout, point at a watch, quote unquote, and say, my time, which I love. It's great. And the Red Sox rubbed it back in his face. And Alex Cora, the Red Sox manager who doesn't get it, pulled the pitcher aside and was like, that's not how we do things around here. And then he felt the pitcher to apologize on Fox in the post-game interview. And so, of course, the media goes to Carlos Correa like, this was an affront to the game of baseball, right? You can't have a mockery and taunting like this. And Carlos Correa's like, I think it's great. I think baseball needs more of it. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not offended by it. He's basically like, if I hit a home run off him next time, I'm going to do it right back to him. And damn it, baseball needs more of that. Make it fun. Open up for taunting. Normalize taunting is all I want for baseball.
But the intriguing thing about that is it's not taunting to them. They're celebrating.
Yes, you're having fun. And who cares if it's taunting? You're just having fun.
But it's taunting if I get pissed off, right? Like, you're taunting me. Now we have to fight, and I'm going to throw a baseball at your teammate. But it's not taunting. It's fun, and that's what it's supposed to be. And so like the old guard is like, that is rubbing it in and motivation. I love this thought that, now Carlos Correa is going to try harder. Oh, no. I mean, Cora is literally afraid that Carlos Correa is going to try harder now. We don't do that.
Dude, you know what? I think the only thing now that would get me interested in the Minnesota Twins for 2022, like I'm so bored with this franchise right now. As a diehard lifer, covered the team for several years. Like, it was my life for years and years. And I'm just so exhausted by everything that happened last year. But if they somehow dropped $150 million, which they won't, on Carlos Correa, because he's a free agent.
I'm in.
And he's going to get a ridiculous. He's probably going to get a $200+ million contract, but so he's not coming to Minnesota. But that would be a splash. All right, that's who gets it, who doesn't here. Who gets it, who doesn't every Tuesday on Mackey and Judd. Daily Minnesota sports entertainment on Mackey and Judd.